Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. What a great way to start our day with Curtis Gardner, technician extraordinaire, tearing it up all over social media. Curtis, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Man, thank you so much for having me, Ted. It's a pleasure to be here. A pleasure to kick this thing off and start such a fantastic opportunity that you provide for so many people to speak up for the things they believe in and give us the opportunity to make the industry a little bit better.
Curtis, you are a breath of fresh air, okay? Because you have come in like a hurricane, okay, into the industry. I didn't know about you until what, maybe a year and a half, maybe a little longer ago. But watching what you do and the consistency, Curtis, of what you do is so important. It's important in all of life. But I want to talk to you today about text, video, of course, MPIs, and what you do on social media, because I'm noticing more and more shops, Curtis, not just text, but the shops are on Instagram, they're on Facebook, they're on LinkedIn, they're on TikTok, they're on all the platforms. So, first of all, how do you have the time to do it? How do you manage to hold down this big technician job and do all these other things on top of that with social?
Yeah, there's definitely some sacrifices. There's also some priorities. I've made over the last year and a half made content creation and social media a priority, and some other areas, whether it's at work or some of the other things, I have to make a few sacrifices. But the biggest thing is, I think right now it's just raw, natural content. Having the ability to just film yourself, what you're doing. There's not a need for a ton of editing, and more people are enjoying that. More people are listening. It's almost like you're on a FaceTime call. It's you're having a conversation with your phone, and you put it on social media, and it's people are just eating it up and just have they're really enjoying that kind of stuff. So
So I got to ask you: one, was it hard to get started? B, did you have a built-in audience in the beginning, or did you start off with, little to none and then grow it little by little?
yeah, I mean, the hardest part is getting started. Everyone wants, the system and the process to be perfect. They're like, well, I want to make sure it looks like this and I want to sound like this. And I mean, your first 100 videos aren't going to be perfect. And the next 100, they'll never be perfect, but you're going to always improve. Every video, every time you speak, you're going to listen to yourself, watch yourself, and you're going to constantly improve. And the audience is your closest, your friends, your family. And as you grow, you start to get more, you build a larger community and you start, there's a huge need to interact with people. And you can't just post content because you just post content, it's gonna be like, well, it's just another Joe Schmo on the internet. It's, connecting with the people in your audience or your community and conversing with them and, in the comments or in the messages. And that takes, honestly, that takes more time than creating the content. But I've gotten to meet so many wonderful people, whether I'm traveling and meeting them or, meeting them through a message. It just start the first video, continue. Consistency is going to beat out talent any day of the week. Just stay consistent.
Do you watch and have you watched your own videos? And has this helped you with doing your day job, the multi-point tech videos for the customer?
Believe it or not, the video inspections actually kind of inspired me and helped me feel more comfortable doing social media. So I did the video inspections, leaned into that for about a year, and then I was like, wow, my message. I kind of looked inside and realized my message can go much further than what I'm doing here. And so then I started putting myself in front of the camera and sent a few videos. And I look back at those videos now and I was talking, feel like I was talking like a robot. I was like, wow, I was so nervous, or, I was not looking at the camera, or I was, talking really slow. And there's so many things you can constantly improve on. And then I think it's important to invest in yourself. And the reason I mean that is, communication courses help you not just in social media or video inspections, but in life is you watch the video, you listen to the video, you hear the video, whether that's social media or the multi-point inspection, and it gives you the opportunity to improve if you want to.
So, was there a mentor you had that inspired you, or did you do all this on your own, or how did you get started?
I don't know if I had a specific mentor for social media. I kind of found people along the way. but I think each person in each niche is specific, because if we all posted the same thing, then we wouldn't have our individual communities and audiences. I think it's important to find a style of content you like and maybe look up to a few people and try some of the things they're trying and see what works for you. Because I mean, I just started posting a new style of content about 3 weeks ago. Um, and so I've been integrating that into what I'm doing now, and then I've gained 40,000 followers in less than a month on Instagram. And my TikTok has tripled. My Facebook has quadrupled, and it was just keep trying new stuff, keep having fun, keep being yourself. And you mentioned dealerships starting to do social media,
Yes.
and I think that's a huge opportunity for customers and fellow technicians and just your ordinary person on Instagram or TikTok or social media to look into the shop and say, "Wow, this is what a dealership is kind of like." Like they're not, they're kind of fun. They're doing fun stuff and then they're having a good time.
Where did you start? What platform, or did you start on all of them at the same time?
I started on Instagram first, and
Okay.
then I quickly realized that I needed to be on all of them. So I don't have the same success on all of them. Instagram
Right.
is my largest platform, but I'm on TikTok, Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm on uh, LinkedIn, I'm on Threads. I don't think I'm not on Twitter, but as many as you can be on, I mean, it's hard. I won't lie about it. It's hard to keep up with all that. It's hard to post, consistently. It's hard to keep up with people. It's hard to keep up with comments and messages. But if it's something that someone he believes in and you believe that that's what you want to do, whether you're the dealership or an individual, you just got to keep with it because it will pay off if you stick with it.
So for techs watching, I know in the past you did not post in the shop where you worked. I saw you do videos from home, elsewhere. Talk to us about that. And now I do see that you do some content in the shop. Um, why?
Yeah, it's important as an individual to make sure that where you're posting is acceptable with the place that you work.
Okay.
That was just making sure that you're checking with your immediate manager or whoever's in charge and making sure that's okay with them. What are the stipulations? Obviously we don't want to share any customer information or license plates, VIN numbers, things like that. But yeah, there at first I had to go through some speed bumps, if you will, and I had to post in my car, in my garage, and really make do with what I had. But I knew that content creation was important to me, and so I kept with it and stuck with it, and it was rough. And now I've over the last few months had the opportunity to film back in the shop with some guidelines,
Okay.
and yeah, it's been fantastic. I really started enjoying, the ability to film in the content, even if some of the other things aren't necessarily going my way. I've learned to learn to love like what I'm doing even more now that I'm able to do it where I work.
Let's go back to the MPI videos that you do with your customers. Um, how long does it take? I know you and I have covered some of this ground before, but talk to us a little bit about that. Vehicles coming in the shop that you do in the course of your daily business. You got a technique. I've seen you do it.
Yeah, I weirdly enjoy it, like doing video inspections. I mean, it's the only opportunity, well, not the only, but the main opportunity that a technician has to connect and communicate with the customer, and even sometimes the advisor in a way that I can walk up to an advisor and have a conversation, but that advisor, if they listen to my video, they understand my level of skill, my level of knowledge, what I'm trying to interpret to the customer. And so that video inspection is my opportunity to connect with someone in the dealership as well as someone coming into the dealership. And I just like you get your haircut probably by the same person or maybe the same place.
Sure.
And so it's always been extremely important to say, I want to be that person that the customer comes back to when they come to the dealership. Say, hey, Curtis worked on my car great. He did my video inspection great. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Like I want him working on my car again. And that was kind of what I realized doing my video inspections. And it's it's a blessing to be able to share some of the things I've been doing with my video inspections and share my techniques with other technicians. And I've had so many positive messages on Instagram and stuff about, hey, I started doing my videos like yours, and I'm making more money. I'm having people come back and ask for me, and it just feel like me makes me feel good because like what I'm saying works, and it's nice to hear it.
Is it mostly, you tell me, younger technicians, that embrace this quicker because, maybe they've, had exposure to doing videos from a young age?
Yeah, I will say it is mostly younger technicians, but I will also say that there's a lot of older technicians that have been maybe afraid to speak up or afraid to say something positively. The culture in the shop sometimes can be a little negative, and some of the more positive technicians are afraid to speak up and they are afraid to talk about the good things like video inspection. So I've had a lot of older technicians that are like, wow, this has worked for me. And they just don't speak about it because they don't kind of want to be a target in the shop. And so it's, I think, helped out a surprising amount of experienced technicians as well.
What about advisors? How do they, what's their take? What do they say?
I have a funny story. Not too long ago, a advisor who isn't on my team, but he was riding for us on a Saturday, and so I did a video inspection just like I normally would, and I sent my quotes in just like I normally would, and he came back in the shop and he was jumping for joy. He was so ecstatic. He was like, "Man, I wish more people did video inspections like you." And it was not to bring down other technicians, but what it was to say is the time and the effort I've invested into the way I introduce myself, the way I speak through the video inspection the same way every time, the way that I end the video inspections. I put a lot of time and effort into that, and he was able to experience that firsthand, and it helped him do his job even easier, and it was able to supply a lot of information to the customer, and he was like, wow, like we need to do more of this. You're doing a fantastic job, great job, keep it up. And it was just, it was one of those things that it made me smile, put a big smile on my face, and I just felt super proud of the work I've put in.
Do the advisors watch your videos before they go out to the customer? And I realize that may change, depending on shop.
Yeah, I always encourage the advisors to watch them, at least the majority of it, maybe at least the customer concern, because that's going to be the reason that that customer is in there. But I don't know. I don't know if they all watch it, but I have
Mm.
gotten feedback from the advisors that do. They're like, dude, this video inspection is great. Like, keep it up. And so that I always want feedback, even negative feedback. If someone's, so I'm saying something weird or maybe they don't like something and I hear it enough times, like, well, maybe I should adjust the way that I say that because it might sound good to me, but it might come off
Okay.
confrontational or not the right way to a customer or an advisor.
Do you get any negative feedback? Does that actually happen? Yeah.
Not really. Maybe when I was first starting, I would get maybe some things about the way I was wording things that could potentially put us in a tough situation. Like if it's around warranty, it's making sure you're using the right warranty language or using language that doesn't necessarily put anyone in a bad position, whether that's a customer or someone at the dealership. You just want to make sure you're speaking in a way that's neutral.
All right. So, all your social media posts, they seem to be different. You mentioned you started something new a few weeks back. Do you mind maybe sharing a couple things that you're doing that's new and that's obviously working for you? These are big numbers.
Yeah, so I started out doing very like educational content, like how to be a more efficient technician, how to do better in video inspections. And my audience and community is slowly growing, but social media is a big entertainment platform. There's a lot of people that are in there to
Mhm.
learn, have fun or learn things or, enjoy themselves, have a good laugh. So I was been trying to kind of come up with an idea of something that's like entertaining, and so I started doing almost like tool reactions. So funny tool reactions where it's somebody using a tool and maybe a different kind of way to test a new system or to use it in a unique way. And so what I would show the clip of that being done, and then I would try it myself, showing that it works, and then try to explain briefly whether it works, it doesn't work, how you could, that type of thing. Like I had one that did really well where I was testing a wrench against an alternator. and it's because it
Hmm.
produces a magnetic field. Now that's fun. It looks a little dangerous, but it's fun. Ultimately, it's not the right way it should be done, but it's kind of cool to see like, wow, the alternator is creating a magnetic field, but you should still check it with a voltmeter. So it's kind of like a dual type of piece of content.
So how's all, in your opinion, and you've been a technician for a while now, how's all this going to evolve? Where's this going? Where's it headed? I mean, I could never have pictured this a couple, 3, 5 years ago, but where's this going in the future? What's next?
Yeah, social media is going to power the world. It's going to be the way that technicians represent themselves.
Yeah.
It's given me a lot of opportunities just to have conversations, even based off of what I've been posting on multiple platforms, especially LinkedIn. It's like, wow, you're very outspoken. I mean, there's people that come to me and don't even know I'm a technician because of the things, just things I'm talking about, and the way that I'm trying to help the industry grow a little bit. It's social media is the only way that I can express myself outside of my current dealership. I mean, sure, I can send my resume to a bunch of dealerships, but these people that are watching, or the community that I'm building, the audience, they're able to see me if I'm having going through a rough patch, if I'm doing good. They're able to learn and grow with me and say, hey, this person is a normal. He's just like us. He's having a hard time. He's having a great time, and so it really lets people learn more about me. And I think the biggest thing is that most brands, you can't transfer certifications between technicians without having to take a bunch of new tests and stuff. And I think this is providing us with an opportunity to learn what that technician is about, what their work ethic is like, what their diagnosis skills are like, and then maybe being able to bridge that gap a little bit more because you've seen proof of it on social media.
Yeah, it is social proof, and it's so important. And I see it growing and growing and growing. Back on the tech multi-point videos, where is this going? Because you and I talked in the green room before we got started. You see things now that there's more and more techs doing it. There's millions of video files, many millions every month. There's uh, all kinds of things like they're now keeping score on how techs do, and there's different platforms doing different things, different dealer groups doing different things. They're Tully is measuring it in a different way than, let's say, the dealership down the street is measuring it. Where do I mean, I view this as a really great thing for the industry. What are you seeing? Where does this go? Where's this headed now?
I think the most important thing is to make sure that we understand what it looks like and feels like to the customer,
Okay.
because they're the one that's ultimately receiving this video, and they're the ones whose customer or cars we're servicing. And I think it's easy to get lost in a lot of technology sometimes. I think it's easy to get lost in AI and how it's incorporated into our daily lives. And video inspections have come in, they're coming in fast, they're evolving every day. And I see new things out about, I mean, the scoring thing, whether there's
Mhm.
the headsets. I think
Headset.
there's real opportunity for good stuff, but I would caution against some of it. It's like we don't want to lose touch with that personal side of things. You don't want to have all the text sounding the same. You don't want to have all the text sounding like robots listing out this checklist of things they need to get a right score on. Because, I mean, I'll reference back to the barbershop. You don't go to the barbershop and not talk to the person, right? You have the same conversation, especially if you go back to the same person. You're not talking about where
Sure.
do you work, what do you have, kids, who's your family. And it's like I'm afraid that we might get to that point where all the videos sound too similar and all the technicians sound just alike, and we're not having any personal connection in those videos. So they're great, they're growing fast, so just let's make sure we're keeping the tech and the customers receiving that video the right way.
Many shops are, well, you tell me, are they requiring it? Is it suggested? Is it, you know, I know a number of dealerships on the roundtable that absolutely insist that every vehicle now, gets a video inspection.
Yeah, I think it's good to build consistency with the video
Consistent.
inspections. You want customers to get a video inspection not just when they need something, but all the time. Whether they're like, "Hey, your car's in for a 5,000 mile tire rotation." or oil change. Like, hey, just want to let you know the tires are in great shape. We topped off your fluids. Everything's looking good. We'll see you at your next service, kind of thing. You don't want a customer to get a video like, oh man, what do I need to buy now? It's now I will say for dealerships just starting them, I think there's a trial and error period. You need to communicate with the technicians on what works and what doesn't work because every shop, every environment is different. It's usually suggested at first, and it slowly works into a required thing once they start to realize the value it brings to the customer experience.
It does. Uh, Finally, tell us about your company, Technar. What are you doing, and where's that headed?
Yes, the Technar Training and Development
Okay,
specifically focuses on technician infrastructure, technician training and coaching, mentorship. It's really just a platform that I've built off the things I've done over the last 16 years in my career. And that goes from video inspections, it goes from training teams inside of dealerships, whether that's, how you grow a technician from like the lube team all the way up into master technician, making sure they're challenging themselves,
sure.
being certified. It's something as silly as counting your steps in between your daily processes. If you can save a few seconds here, a few seconds there, a minute, it adds up over a year. And so it's really about just honing the technician position within a dealership.
Um, Lastly, today for the audience watching, whether it be a tech, whether it be a dealer, fixed ops director, maybe somebody at an OEM, can people reach out to you? And if so, what's the best way to get a hold of Curtis Gardner? Because you got a lot going on, and you understand where the industry is headed.
Yeah, the my social media name, I have changed it to Curtis A. Gardner all the way across. So every LinkedIn, every Instagram, every platform is Curtis A. Gardner. I am that brand that I'm trying to build. The Technar thing has kind of formed into the company that I'm trying to build. My email is probably the best way to contact me if it's not a direct message, and that's curtis@nard.com, which is kind of spelt kind of funny. So it's going to be
Mhm, mhm.
GNARRED. And that's me. Find me, ask me questions. I'm willing to help out. Anything I can do to, help my fellow technicians, you know, grow 1% better every day.
I'm excited for you and seeing where this is going and watching you continue to grow in the industry. And excited for this week, all that's going to happen with Fixed Ops at Fixed Ops Week. So thank you for being a big part of it, Curtis. And we owe you a whole lot here and a big debt of gratitude.
Well, thank you, Ted. Thank you for doing what you do for all of us.
Everybody, Curtis Gardner here with us today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.